Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's my pleasure to make this presentation again this year on behalf of the City of Maple Grove. This year we have once again seen a number of milestones and changes in our city. This year, I think that a couple of the ones I want to highlight for you are the new community gymnasium at the Maple Grove Middle School that we did in conjunction with the school district. Our fire department had its 40th anniversary. We added a new city council member, Judy Hanson, and we added a new city administrator, Heidi Nelson, and Heidi Nelson's here today with us. So Heidi, if you could please stand. As many of you know, our long-standing city administrator, Al Matson, retired after 32 years with us, and one of the things I failed to explain to Heidi is that once she agreed to be with us, she was with us for the next 32 years. Yes, but we're very excited to have Heidi with us, and we look forward to her working with us. Obviously, we had a number of projects that were completed, a number of new things that happened in our city throughout the year. One of the highlights is the new Park Necklet Regional Medical Center. It's going to be their regional surgical center along with a large complex for their doctors. I'll talk a little bit later about 610 and the continuation there, our new Central Park, and a lot of other wonderful things that are happening in our community. But really, I think one of the main things I really have an obligation to report upon is the financial highlights of our city. This year, you're going to see the vast majority of our homes and commercial businesses are going to see actually a decrease in their property taxes for 2016. Our property tax levy was actually one of the smallest increases of any of the suburban communities. Standard & Poor's has once again reaffirmed our AAA credit rating. We're one of the few communities in the state of Minnesota that actually maintains a AAA bond rating. Of course, this bond rating relates to not only a great community, but it helps us financially as we are able to get lower bonding costs for the various projects we have to do throughout the year. Our budget this year went up by a little bit less than 4%, 3.58%. Because of our continued growth and because of other things that happen, our tax levy goes up less. And as you can see from the slide here, our property tax levy went up 2.49%, or a little bit less than $2 a month for the average home in Maple Grove. Maple Grove continues to see significant housing growth in our community. Last year, we saw about 388 actual units that were built in our community, a lot of single-family homes. We continue to be one of the largest and fastest growing communities, not only for single-family homes, but also for multi-unit developments as well. Last year, we saw a phase of the Sky open up, and this year we also saw the new senior facility at Silver Creek. And this upcoming year, we'll see the continued expansion of the Sky with their new project being developed, along with some other residential developments that we know are in the process of coming forward. Some of the residential developments, just so you can attach a name to them and sort of the places. The Bottineau Ridge concept is another expansion in the downtown Maple Grove area. The Donegal addition is out in the northwest part of our city. The enclave of Rush Creek is actually a new area of development in our city up by Elm Creek Park Reserve, sort of up near the Dayton border. And then obviously we continue to see more expansion of the Sky as well. We continue to see significant business growth. Our business development continues to happen. We have significant additions to our community. One of the interesting aspects that's noted here that is going to be very interesting is the new Children's Learning Adventure Center that's being built right now off of Bass Lake Road in 494. It's a new concept that is throughout the country, but essentially it is a very, very large children's learning center that will be located there, and will have a lot of very interesting aspects, interactive aspects for your child to use throughout the day when they're essentially at childcare. One thing that I obviously always have to talk about, because it's still around, it still hasn't been completed, is Highway 610. The good news with Highway 610 is that it was in the quarters of commerce expansion. And so because of that, for the last year, we have seen significant work on Highway 610. And this time next year, the connection to Highway 610 will at last, after 40 years of work, be completed. For our citizens in the northwest communities, not only Maple Grove, that will be a significant addition. It will allow us to travel straight across the northern part of our communities and attach ourselves to either I-94 or 35W on the east side. It's a significant development for all of our communities because it will certainly open up these corridors, as they're called, corridors of commerce. You've seen from the presentation of Mayor Lundy what the business development has been along 610 in Brooklyn Park. And we in Maple Grove anticipate that this corridor, this area, will see that type of significant development over the next 5-10 years in our city as well. And some of the other aspects here, just so that it's clear, is that we do need additional funding to complete this road system as it was designed. The connections in the yellow and the red on the map are actually the remaining portions that are left unfunded, and we're continuing to work with our federal and state authorities to try and make sure that this road construction just simply gets completed and lasts, after 40+ years of work, that the last road on the original metropolitan road system is actually completed. There's also been some other significant roadways. You can see here the 610, it's going to be open. But the other things that I think are important for our citizens are not only the expansion of Lawndale Lane that's now open down to the Wayzata High School through the western part of our city. We also will see next year the completion and expansion of Vicksburg Lane going south through Plymouth, and the new bridge that will exist over the railroad in Plymouth will certainly help all of us. And the other thing that's noted here, I think that is very, very significant for our community, is at last the third lane on 494 is being built. Many of you have known that this is a bottleneck. It's been historically a spot on the road that every single morning of every single day you wake up and you look at the news and realize, once again, 494 is stop and go. The third lane is now open going south, and my office, my law office, I look over that road every morning. I don't think there's been hardly one morning since the road opened up that there's actually been a bottleneck out there. And so for our citizens, it's saving us certainly a lot of time in our lives to have this road open and functioning the way it's meant to function. But it also is great for our businesses because they can now have a dependable route, their transportation works better, their employees can get to and from work easier, and it's a great completion in our city, and it shows what sometimes expansion and completions of sort of bottleneck areas in the transportation system, you fix them and all of a sudden the system works. We had a lot of new businesses that opened in Maple Grove throughout the year. I don't want to spend too much time on too many of them, but certainly there were a couple that created more notoriety or publicity than others. Our Omni Brewing opened up. They are a local tap house. They are a business that has now opened. And the other thing that I think sort of caused some expressions of concern in our community at the time was Total Wine. Obviously, they have brought a different concept to the liquor industry into our community, and if any of you were in the area over the holidays, you know how busy they were. As I mentioned earlier, Maple Grove's Fire Department celebrated its 40th anniversary. We continue to have a significant number of calls as our city continues to grow. They are up year over year. They continue to grow as the city continues to grow. And one of the things that I want to make sure everyone knows is that we have a very active, what I'll call a smoke alarm program for senior citizens. We actively engage in helping them to make sure that their smoke alarms are functional and available for them. Throughout the year, our police department, our statistics show that the Part 1 crimes are down significantly year over year. I think great news is that we once again placed first nationally in the National Night Out activities. I think the National Night Out activities are incredibly important for our community because it lets the neighborhoods get together, see your neighbors, meet your neighbors, and I think it really helps create not only bonds within the community, but I think it really helps people understand, sort of who lives in what houses and sort of who to expect in the neighborhood. It helps you be more aware of when people are in your neighborhood that maybe shouldn't be there. So that's a significant event every year, and it continues to grow, and we're very proud of that. One of the things that happened this year, as I mentioned earlier, is the new community gymnasium. It's a great new facility that was built in conjunction with the school district. It provides 3 additional full-size courts, so that the facility now has 5 full-size courts plus. There's 9 new pickleball courts, and I have to admit I've been told I have to come play some mornings. So it's obviously an activity that has grown by leaps and bounds, and it should be fun. It's a great new facility. It's hosted a lot of national AAU events already. It's a great facility for our school district to have for use for its basketball programs as well. And certainly it's something that we are, as a community, very excited to have. And finally, the last thing that I really want to talk about here today is our new Central Park. I don't know how many of you have been over to see it, to visit it, or to enjoy it, but it's a great new park. It has great facilities for both winter and summer. It has new basketball area, new playground area, new central lawn that's a massive, essentially green area to come out and enjoy yourself. There's a formal wedding garden. There's trails for walking and biking. There's extensive landscaping. As many of you have seen on TV recently, there's a beautiful ice skating facility there, an outdoor refrigerated track. So we will have ice skating there from the early November up and through the end of March every year. And I think last weekend alone there were there's a couple thousand people there on Saturday alone. So it's a beautiful new facility and something that we as a community are very proud of. And I think that one of the best ways to see this new park is to see, hopefully, the new drone footage of the park. And this is a splash pad area, as you see out front. It's a 20-minute program of splash pads. There's a huge new playground area with rock climbing walls and other interesting new playground equipment. That is the ice oval, or the ice track that you'll see there that's refrigerated. It's essentially a quarter-mile track. So you can see that this is our new wedding, formal gardens. You can see that the city has spent a lot of time and effort conceiving of this idea. It's in an area of downtown Maple Grove where we have now, as you can see, had significant new apartments and condominiums coming into our community. And we think by having this large, concentrated central park in the middle of our community, it adds a great set of futures not only to that sort of neighborhood, but to our city as well. And we certainly think it has created another great element to make Maple Grove one of the best cities in the country. Thank you very much.